August 7th, 2023. Henderson, Nevada. 8:40 in the morning. A mother walks into her son's bedroom and finds something so horrifying that the 6 words she said to the 911 dispatcher became the sentence that defined this entire case. He does not have a face. Not, he is not breathing. Not, something is wrong. He does not have a face. That mother was Yoko. Her son was 46-year-old Johnathan James Willette, a man who had spent his entire life building things, businesses, friendships, and most importantly, his family. But the one thing he tried hardest to protect would become the very thing that destroyed him. And the biggest betrayal in this story is not just who killed him, it is the person she chose before it ever happened. Welcome to Real Crime Documentaries. Real cases, real people, real consequences. Hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment below. I want to know what you think of this one before we even get to the end. Now let us get into it. When officers arrived at the Palo Duro Drive home that morning, they stopped at the bedroom doorway. The air was thick with the smell of bleach and ammonia so strong it burned the eyes. The walls were unusually clean. No visible blood anywhere in the room. Officers shone their flashlights toward the bed. Johnathan's body was giving off steam. Bleach and ammonia had been poured directly onto him, creating a toxic chemical reaction that was still eating through tissue. The mattress beneath him was dissolving. His phone, his wallet, his keys, and his social security card were all gone. And Johnathan Willette had no head. It had been severed from his body. It was not in the room. It was not in the house. It would never be recovered. Forensic experts later confirmed that a knife and a mechanically powered saw had been used. The cuts were deliberate, controlled. The decapitation had taken place after death, while Johnathan was still on the bed where he had been killed. Whoever did this had then poured chemicals over the body to destroy the evidence, taken the head out of the house, and walked away into the early morning darkness. One question immediately emerged in that room. Who in Johnathan Willette's life had both the reason and the coldness to do something like this? Johnathan was not a complicated man to understand. He had grown up in a military family, moving between Tokyo, Montana, and California before settling in Henderson, Nevada as a teenager. He spent the rest of his life there. He worked the Las Vegas Strip for over 2 decades selling timeshare packages, then built his own logistics company from scratch. High-profile clients came on board. He drove through the city in his white Chevy truck with 2 American flags mounted on the back. His family described him in 2 words: all in. But behind that image of a man who showed up every single day was a personal life that had been quietly unraveling for years. And at the center of that unraveling was a woman named Devyn Michaels. Devyn was 45 years old in 2023. She and Johnathan had been locked in an on-and-off relationship since 2012. Never married. But together they had 2 daughters, both under the age of 13 at the time of his death. Those who knew them described the relationship as explosive, unstable, a cycle of separation and reconciliation that never fully resolved. By 2018, they had separated, but Johnathan could not cut the cord. He was determined to keep his family intact for the sake of his girls. He made compromises he should not have made. He bent rules he should have enforced. He genuinely believed that if he just kept trying, he could hold everything together. In October 2022, Devyn was arrested on allegations involving the mistreatment of their daughters. The court sided with Johnathan and granted him sole custody of both girls. That should have been the end of Devyn Michaels in his life. It was not. And here is where this story takes a turn that made prosecutors, detectives, and eventually an entire jury stop and stare. Johnathan had a son from a previous relationship. His name was Devyn Willette. He was 26 years old in 2023. He worked as a security systems technician. He was close to 6 feet 6 inches tall. For years, he and his father had been inseparable. Then, seemingly overnight, their relationship collapsed. Devyn Willette testified at trial that he was 19 years old when he first began a sexual relationship with Devyn Michaels. 19 years old, while she was in her late 30s, while she was still his father's girlfriend. while she was the mother of his 2 younger sisters. He said on the stand, in his own words, "I was trying to fill the shoes of my father." Shoes, he admitted, that he had no business filling. In November 2021, Devyn and Devyn got married. A full traditional ceremony, white dress, veil, wedding rings. They told Johnathan it was purely administrative, arranged for insurance purposes. Nothing physical between them. That was a lie. In a single moment, Devyn had legally become the stepfather of his own younger sisters, and Devyn had built an entirely new domestic life, quietly, while Johnathan remained in the background, still trying to do the right thing. When Johnathan found out, he was furious. He sent Devyn a message that made his feelings perfectly clear, but then he made the decision that would ultimately cost him his life. He decided he still wanted everyone under the same roof. Johnathan rented a house in the North Cheyenne area of Northwest Las Vegas. He organized the entire move himself. He packed the boxes. He arranged the logistics. He planned to move in alongside Devyn, their daughters, and Devyn, because in his mind, keeping his family together was always worth whatever it cost him. What he could not see was what that plan meant for Devyn. Prosecutors laid it out plainly for the jury. Johnathan moving into that house meant Devyn moving out. The life Devyn had carefully constructed with Devyn and her daughters, the stability she had built while keeping Johnathan at arm's length, was about to be permanently dismantled. This is the future she saw and that she wanted, the Chief Deputy District Attorney told the jury, pointing to a photograph of Devyn and Devyn with the children. And the only way to have that future was with John out of the picture. You are watching Real Crime Documentaries. Share this video right now with someone who needs to hear this story. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it now, because we are about to get to the part that made an entire courtroom go silent. Stay with me. On the evening of August 6, 2023, preparations for the move were nearly complete. Johnathan and Devyn drove together to Yoko's home on Palo Duro Drive to spend the night. Surveillance cameras at a nearby Chevron gas station captured both of them entering together at 10:05 that evening and leaving 5 minutes later. Devyn was at the house he shared with Devyn. He texted her to say he had put the girls to sleep and was going to bed. He said he did not leave the house again that night. Yoko saw Johnathan briefly that evening. Devyn told her he had been drinking and smoking marijuana and had gone to bed early. They needed rest. They were registering the girls for school in the morning. Yoko went upstairs. The next time she saw her son, she was on the phone with a 911 dispatcher, telling them he did not have a face. During a polygraph examination 8 days after the murder, Devyn told police her version of events. She said Johnathan had tried to coerce her into a sexual act while she was giving him a back massage. She said she snapped. She grabbed a wooden stick and struck him across the back of the head. She said his arms went limp. She said she did not mean to kill him. She only wanted to hurt him enough to send him to the hospital, to get him out of the way so she could figure out what to do with her children. She said he was still breathing when she left. The polygraph examiner told her the results showed a significant reaction to the question of whether she had participated in any way in Johnathan's death. When asked directly if it was possible she had killed him and simply did not remember, she answered, "Very possible." But her story did not explain what the evidence showed. It did not explain the bleach and ammonia brought deliberately into that bedroom after Johnathan was dead. It did not explain the forensic confirmation that decapitation had occurred using a knife and a mechanically powered saw. 2 separate tools. Controlled. Deliberate. Not a crime of passion, a crime of removal. It did not explain why her Nissan Armada was captured on surveillance cameras leaving the area at 2:04 in the morning. It did not explain why Johnathan's cracked cell phone was found in her driveway the next morning, with what appeared to be blood on the screen. It did not explain why a search of her bedroom revealed a plastic bag hidden inside her underwear drawer containing Johnathan's ID, his truck keys, his wallet, and his social security card. And it did not explain where his head was. Prosecutors told the jury that Devyn drove the head from Henderson to her home in Las Vegas and threw it in the trash. A waste collection service picked it up. Johnathan's head was never recovered. The murder weapon was never found. The crime scene analyst noted something that stayed with everyone who heard it. There was almost no blood spatter in that bedroom, which meant Johnathan was already dead before the decapitation began. His blood had stopped moving. Someone had waited. Someone had made sure. And then someone had gone to work with slow, deliberate precision, just feet from where his mother slept upstairs. At trial, the defense pointed the finger directly at Johnathan Willette. His attorney argued that Johnathan had the motive, the physical capability, and the opportunity to kill his own father, and that Devyn was covering for him. Johnathan took the stand and denied everything. He said he was home all night. He said he loved his father. Under cross-examination, the defense attorney asked him whether he had lied under oath before when it suited him. He admitted that he had. The prosecution's closing landed hard. Deputy District Attorney Brittany Griffith told the jury that Devyn Michaels was a master manipulator, a woman who had begun a sexual relationship with a 19-year-old boy who had just lost his virginity, who had secretly married him while his father remained in her life, and who had then decided that the life she wanted required Johnathan Willette to disappear permanently. The jury agreed. Devyn Michaels was found guilty of first-degree murder with the use of a deadly weapon. On January 8, 2026, Judge Tiara Jones sentenced her to 20 years to life for the murder, plus a consecutive 8 to 20 years for the deadly weapon enhancement. She will not be eligible for parole for 28 years. At sentencing, Devyn stood before the court and spoke. She said no matter what she said, the family would still feel the same way. She did not speak Johnathan's name. She did not acknowledge what she had done. Johnathan's daughters are growing up without him. His mother found his body. His head has never been recovered. Somewhere in the Las Vegas Valley, in a landfill underneath years of waste, is the part of Johnathan Willette that his family was never able to bury. And Devyn Michaels, the woman who put it there, will not see the outside of a prison until she is in her 70s. If she ever does. That is the case of Devyn Michaels and Johnathan Willette, a man who spent his whole life trying to hold his family together, a woman who decided the family she wanted was worth more than his. If this video moved you, hit that like button right now. Share it. Leave a comment and tell me, 28 years, is that justice for what she did to him? Subscribe to Real Crime Documentaries if you have not already, because every single week we bring you cases exactly like this one. Real people, real pain, real justice. See you in the next one.